Hello, friends, and welcome to my 2017 wrap-up. We are here with 3 days into 2018 in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is 10:33 p.m., and it is just about to hit the biggest cold snap that this city has pretty much ever seen, and a massive snowfall. And I am going to talk about a few of my professional highlights from 2017 and what 2017 brought me in terms of a little bit in terms of personal stuff. One big thing for me is that I recently went through my Saturn return. My Saturn return ended a little before Christmas. I knew it would because I had logged it out mathematically using a system a long time ago, which ended up being much more fun than I anticipated. And I feel much lighter. I feel creatively more open, more connected, and everything feels a little different. Feels a little less heavy. So, without further ado, 2017 professional highlights. Now I started a Patreon account. I'm reading this off of my Tumblr list, so I'll include a link to that in the description. And that will have the links to all the projects and all the everything, so that will be down below in the description. So, first off, number one, started a Patreon. I'm not really counting. And that was around spring, summer, I believe summer, because I did for a few months, I did a diary comic that would run for the patrons and be collected for the patrons, but then when that became overwhelming and when I didn't want to continue that project, I ran that for about 2 months, and that was a lot of fun. I've done diary comics on and off throughout my life. But that project kind of ran its course, and since then, for patrons, if you're wondering what Patreon is, it's a patron system where people support artists. In my case, you can support me for $1 or more per month on patreon.com/HeyAnimak, and what you'll get in return is PDFs, video games, music, all these different things that I'm making. Speaking of music, I created a self-titled album which was called Animak with DJ Delish and Kylie K. Lotes. Kylie K. Lotes being from the band Pedal, if you know that band. And I'll probably be playing some tracks from that album underneath in the music bed. And I drew a personal project in the summer called The Directors, which was a PDF zine of my favorite filmmakers, including Satyajit Ray and David Lynch, and looking to the side to my Blu-ray collection, and Edward Yang and Alfonso Cuarón, and if I'm pronouncing that right, and Andrei Tarkovsky, and all these film greats who I adore and whose movies I really wish were more widely seen and less thought of as this kind of niche thing, because I feel like these films have such incredible universal appeal that I would love to help in some small way connect movies with a larger audience, and that's why I tweet so much about movies on my Twitter @HeyAnimak. Next up, I made the comic 2-player co-op with Hazel Newlevant for Zeal. That is a short little comic about Jane McGonigal's video game criticism work, and this idea that when you play a game, whether it's co-op or competitive with someone else, you bond with them in this very particular way. And I use that to kind of make jokes about weed and sex, weed and going down on someone in the comic. But anyway, so that was a fun one. I just ruined the ending for it, but oh well. I received my third Leeway Award. So that was such a dream. I had received the Art and Change grant in 2013, I believe, and then in 2015, I believe, I received I always mix up the years, but I received the Leeway Transformation Award, and the Leeway Award is an award for artists who create art that affects social change in the Delaware Valley, and I fit that bill, apparently, so I really appreciate their funding. This new project is a film of sorts that will be more details TBA. I'm working on that with my friend Ben, my roommate. And took my first acting 101 class at FIT, Philly Improv Theater, on a diversity scholarship, which Ben actually now runs. The diversity scholarship at FIT, which is really wonderful. I released the bulk of my work for just a few bucks on Gumroad, from $1 to $5 on gumroad.com/HeyAnnieMock, and there you can find PDFs of my work and video games, including my new video game, which comes to the next thing, a Twine game called The Haunted Nintendo. If you don't know what Twine game is this great kind of simple system for making games, simple text-based games. So in this game, The Haunted Nintendo, you are a kid in the 80s, and your father has gotten you this Nintendo, this NES, and he's gotten it for very cheap, which is very strange because it's very expensive. He got it at a garage sale, and there's a host of games, and you have to decide to play the games, which games to play, and it goes from there. But it's a really fun little creepypasta kind of story with The Haunted Nintendo. I self-released the comics and essays collection, Annie Mock Loves Video Games, which were comics, as you can see, comics and essays from Zeal, Rookie Mag, and Offworld, and I was able to solicit review quotes from Samus the Rapper, Lee Alexander the Games Critic, Emily Carroll, Joni Kitaka, and Soha El Sabawi. And I was really pleased to get blurbs from such luminaries and friends of mine in gaming and gaming adjacent kind of creative stuff. Next one is kind of a rough one. I dealt with, as a lot of you know, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual assault and incest, and I wrote a journalistic article on incest for The Establishment, where I interviewed a lot of other survivors, and the response was just massive. Thousands of reads and shares, and got a couple of letters, and I really appreciated it. And that's at The Establishment, if you want to look it up. If you just Google my name in The Establishment, you'll find, you'll find it all in the Tumblr link, again, down below in the description. I began a Threadless shop, which has been a delight, and I have made a number of video game and weed and otherwise inspired designs, original and copyrighted work. Stolen. Not stolen, but my own drawings of copyrighted characters, who in interesting situations. I interviewed Gabrielle Bell, Yasmin Omar Atta, and Sophia Foster Dimino at the Comics Journal. I'm really proud of all those interviews, and I did several reviews. I worked on growing my Let's Play channel on YouTube, and a little note about that, I'm taking... I don't know what to announce about my YouTube channel. I truly don't. I told myself I'd take a break, and now I'm recording this video. So, who knows? I wrote and drew a short comic, I, Lancelot, for Zeal, which was about my obsession with King Arthur, and also kind of like parental rage against like fucked up parental figures and stuff like that. And then I appeared in Critical Chips 2, edited by Zainab Akhtar, and with a comic called On Astro Boy, which was about Tezuka and his views on white imperialism and racist views on Japanese people and stuff like that, from white audiences. And it takes a lot of Tezuka's words directly. Something I'm very proud of, because I just tried to get out of the way as much as possible, which is a goal of mine very often. And and then in 2018, the first things that I have to announce is that I appear in Rookie on Love, edited by Tavi Gvinson, with Tavi, Hilton Alls, Janet Mock, Mitski, so many luminaries. I'm really happy to be in this book. And on Saturday, January 6th at 5 p.m. at Books Are Magic in Brooklyn, I'll be doing a group reading. So if you are in the New York area, please join me for that. And I also appear in the All Trans anthology We're Still Here, with a short erotic comic, which I believe is called Allegheny Cemetery. So I believe that's all for 2017. I mean, this is my professional year politically, obviously. It was a total shit show, and what can I say except I want, the end of cops, the end of prisons. I mean, just, I feel like, what we are, not what we all want, but like, me and a lot of people I know want. Just like, things like that. Definitely want that for 2018. Yeah, and for 2018, I'm planning to get therapy, and again, I had a therapist and that didn't work out, and planning to find I found a new therapist, and I have an appointment, which I'm really happy about. That was a big struggle for me, and then planning to sell out and get paid. I've just applied to the Nickelodeon writers program with a spec Adventure Time script, so that's something I'm very excited about. And yeah, so guess that's all for 2017. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to sign off in the way that I sign off on my Let's Plays, which is just going to say that I've been Andy Mock. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and Facebook at Hey Annie Mock. That's HEY Annie ANNIEMOK. And I hope you share some video games and some fun with some friends today. Okay. All right, bye.